Hello everyone. I really wanted to just take the time to get in front of a camera and speak to you all about everything that's kind of going on in the world. I'm taking some time to process it all and kind of run all this information and change through my system to try to understand it to the best of my ability. And I've been doing a lot of meditating, talking to people, and observing all this change that's happening presently. And I'm getting so many downloads, it's actually a little overwhelming. So I'm trying to transmute that as quickly as I can to provide you with as much information as I possibly can, and just some of the knowledge and resources that I have available to me to you guys so that you can use them as well during this time to help yourself stay grounded throughout all of this. I know how stressful and fearful that this can all be, especially with all the change that's happening and surrounding ourselves, not only in our own lives, but globally as well. This is huge. Nothing like this has ever really happened before. And I think there's a lot that we can already take away from this, a lot that we can observe and kind of use to our benefit. So there is a lot that is happening, and I know that, it's challenging again, and you might be feeling fearful and afraid or anxious or confused or lost. And I just want to preface everything that I'm about to say with that is okay. You are allowed to feel how you feel and really just honor where you're at in this moment. It's okay. Give yourself love, give yourself gratitude. Although I'm going to take time to focus and talk more on some of the positive lights and aspects and things we can take away from this experience, and where I want us to all try to shift and redirect our focus and attention to not provide or instill more fear or chaos, because there's enough of that already out there. I just want you to know that if that's where you're at, if that's how you're feeling, totally fine. Do not resist that, embrace that, get the help that you need. And if that's through me or anybody else, please reach out. Don't hesitate to do so. Take precaution. It's not like irrelevant, and just do what you need to do to take care of yourself in this moment in time. It's okay. So something that came up for me as I've been reflecting this is a reading that I have saved in a book of mine. It's called A Year of Miracles by Marianne Williamson. I read a passage of this book every single day to the clients at the rehab center that I teach yoga and offer acupuncture to, and it's just daily reflections every day. Some of you might have seen me post and share some of them on my story when I come across one that I really love and enjoy, but there's one that I've saved in here that I've shared a long time ago. I've had this book for years, and I feel like this just came up to me. I want to share it with you guys because I feel like it is a direct reflection of what is happening. This is, to me, super relevant. So the reading says, for a reflection on cancer as a metaphor. A cancer cell is a cell that has gone insane. It has disconnected from its natural intelligence. It has forgotten it's here to collaborate with other cells, that it exists to serve the healthy functioning of the system of which it is a part. It is separated from the organ to which nature has assigned it, gathering all other cells as sick as it is to build its own kingdom in a world apart. This false kingdom, this malignant tumor, seeks to preserve itself by growing more of itself. Thus, it threatens not only its host, but also itself. This is not simply a description of cells in the body. It is a description of the emotional malignancy of the human race, which has separated itself from our natural intelligence. This emotional malignancy threatens the whole of humanity, just as the disease of cancer threatens one's body. Our disease is the false belief that we are separate from each other, from God, from the rest of life, bearing no sense of responsibility or love for anyone or anything other than the selected beneficiaries of our kindness. This distortion of our true sense of self, is a cancer that would lead to the destruction of our species. It tempts us to forget our function as collaborators with others in promoting the healthy functioning of the whole of which we are a part. It will be healed in our bodies and in our world as we return to our natural selves. Wow. Such a powerful message. Just take a moment to let that sink in. So the reason I feel this is so prevalent to us today is it's a direct reflection of what is happening in the world. Marianne is speaking about this interconnectivity that we all have to each other, that we have lost this knowing and awareness of because we are so focused on things that our limited egoic mind can only perceive through our five senses. We have lost this deeper truth and understanding that we are connected in so many ways. It's beyond measure, and everything is ultimately a reflection of everything else. So our microcosmic organism down to the single-celled organism or the atom is a direct reflection of the macrocosmic universe. Because of that, we are so connected to each other. We have such a big impact to one another. And so I think that what is happening here with the spread of this virus is a direct reflection of, like Marianne Williamson said in this book, what is happening individually within our own hearts and minds as well. The word corona in Latin means crown. So this is a time where Earth is calling us to literally awaken through our crown chakra to receive this higher information and knowledge. That's why it's so imperative that we spread it during this time period to let everybody understand and know that this is a huge wake-up call to all of us as individuals and collectively as humanity. So we are already starting to see and observe the power of the collective, not only within our physical action, but also within the thinking mind. Information is being spread like wildfire, okay? And we're seeing how easily and quickly and readily available it is to all of us at all moments in time at our fingertips. So the information that you are sharing and spreading, everybody else has the ability to witness and see because we're all connected by the internet through technology. It's this beautiful blessing that we all have, that we share, and we also have to be very mindful how we are subscribing and feeding into it. What is the information that you're putting out there? What is the information that you're taking in, that you're sharing? It's okay to read into certain things and look at different sources and different pages, but make sure that you're checking in with yourself to make sure that the information that you're using and that you're sharing and speaking and thinking and feeding into is actually true and relevant to you. This is a huge moment in our history where we're faced with an opportunity to really look at and understand what is relevant to us. So we don't have to blindly follow the masses, follow the crowd, and just feed into, the powers that might be above us that are giving us all this information. This is an opportunity for you to check in with yourself, because we all have this innate ability to use our intuitive minds, to check in with our souls, this higher power, to tap into this greater data bank of knowledge that is even beyond the internet, this universal mind, this conscious energy, to really pull our information from there. Google existed long before the actual literal Google existed. So in order to connect to it, we have to slow down and raise our frequency in order to tap in, almost like tuning in to a radio station, raise our vibration and frequency to match the frequency of this universal mind, so that we can receive information that is truly empowering and relevant, and to be able to really understand and look at this higher perspective of what is happening globally. So again, this virus is a reflection of all the pain, all the trauma, all the suffering, this idea of disconnection that we have embraced as we've been moving forward as humans over the last century. We have rapidly been evolving, and there's so much good and benefit that has come from that. And also, I think we have gotten a little bit too ahead of ourselves, that we've lost things from our past that were so beneficial and so important. A lot of these truths that I'm presenting you with today are things that ancient cultures and civilizations have known for thousands of years. In our modern day and age, we've been quick to forfeit these higher truths and seeking our own personal benefit and desire. Again, like she describes in this reading, we've been living for things that are so limited to this specific lifetime, when in fact we are here to live not for ourselves as individuals, but for the collective of humanity. So instead of just doing things every single day for yourself, acquiring things for your sole benefit and purpose, this is the disease of the mind that we have bought into, thinking that if we live our lives, we don't have some impact on the person next to us or anybody across the globe. And when we live this way, this is what causes our suffering. It is, I feel, at the root of all suffering, this idea of isolation that we have and separateness that we have from each other. So we need to really look at ourselves, look at our intentions, look at our desires and motivations for things. And if it is our sole desire to do things only for ourselves, we might have fallen off track. We might have fallen off of what nature has originally designed us to do, which is to, again, serve the whole functioning of the collective. We are just like a single cell within our body that is designed with this innate intelligence to serve our whole body. We are one organism that has been designed to serve the entire universe as a whole. So we must realign with that higher truth and with that higher purpose for ourselves in this time period now more than ever. And we are seeing that. We are seeing how beneficial it is for us to come together, for us to really connect in a higher way in order to make an impact and in order to make a difference. With this illusion of separation, we have adapted this belief that we don't make an impact and we're just one person. So, what power do we have? When in fact, we have all the power. We have all the capability to make a difference. It's just like with all this election stuff going on. I know you guys know this. It takes every single person stepping up to vote, to stay at home so that we don't continue to spread this virus, to work on resolving the things that are within ourselves so that we can make the changes within our own body that we need to in order to align with this higher vibration of love and connection and responsibility we have to take care of this planet. We have to all do that on a personal, individual level first in order to see that change happen outside of ourselves. So instead of sitting around waiting for somebody else to do the work for you, waiting for somebody to be elected into office to make the changes for you, putting your power in somebody else's hands, this is an opportunity that we all have to re-empower ourselves and to take that responsibility back into our own hands to make that difference. And again, it doesn't work. This change won't work. It won't happen unless we all step up to the plate and we all do it, just like we're seeing this ripple effect that we all have. If we choose to, in this moment, stay at home, we'll be able to flatten the curve and hopefully eliminate the blow that this virus has and the impact it has on potentially spreading throughout our entire species. And simply by doing that, we've already noticed so much change and impact that we've been able to make on the earth, the planet in itself. Places like China and Italy, where they've already been on major quarantine and lockdown for longer than we have here in the United States, we've seen a huge decrease in the amount of air pollution. So I really feel like there's something higher that's happening here, and I'm not trying to turn a blind eye and be dismissive or spiritually bypass all the, impact that it's having that's very challenging for so many individuals, but to just try to take a step back and to align ourselves again with this higher purpose, this higher plan that is being activated right now in our species. We have forgotten the impact. Because we have forgotten the impact that we have on the earth, we have neglected ourselves. We have neglected each other. We have neglected the earth. And we know this. We know this because of climate change. We know this because of all the suffering, all the pollution, the mass epidemic of drug usage, of anxiety, of depression that we have, and suicide and obesity or hunger or, all these diseases, mental, physical, emotional, that we have. This is what's being reflected to us. And I believe that this is the way globally that we are receiving this wake-up call. We are being asked to slow down, to reconnect to earth, reconnect to ourselves, realign what is truly relevant, truly important, which is our own hearts, our souls, our minds, our bodies, the earth, nature itself, each other, our community, our loved ones, to nourish and take care of ourselves and each other in the highest way possible to make these changes that we all need to see. So we got, so far ahead of ourselves. We got caught up just like working and doing and striving for the next big thing. So much of this Vata energy of just going and doing and moving towards the future and producing and consuming and all this stuff, that we need to also have the practices of slowing down and tuning in and checking in to keep ourselves grounded, to keep ourselves in check, so we're not bulldozing over the things that are truly important, that truly matter, so that we can keep the balance and keep the peace and stay connected to each other and not just put so much stress on ourselves and on our bodies. It's so important that we create this time and this space for ourselves. So there's another reading that she has that I actually just went past as I was looking for this other one. And then, divine alignment, everything comes up when we need to. And I want to share this with you just as a reminder again that everything is happening as it should. So if you are in fear, if you are confused and feeling lost, again, that is okay. I'm just here to remind you that it's all happening for a greater plan, a greater reason, a greater purpose that sometimes we can't see when we are so stuck in our humanity. And as humans, it's okay to be there. It's okay to have these feelings and emotions, and also to remember we have a spirit, we have a soul. These things are impermeable. These things are so powerful beyond measure, beyond any limitation of the external world, any limitation of forces of evil or destruction or greed or any of this stuff. We have this ability to tap into this space and really align with this personal power inside of ourselves. And for as many people out there in the world that you are seeing are in fear or panic or organizing out of anger or hate or greed or manipulation, if you're afraid of any of these powers and what they might be doing or what might be underlying all this change that's happening and what might come from it, remember that for as many people out there that are living in that vibration, the opposite also exists, because we live in a world of duality and polarity, that same amount of love, if not more, also exists. And that love and the people that are out there that are sharing the light and really stepping up to the plate and sharing positivity and love and gratitude and compassion during this time, that are there to support and help each other, they are actually more powerful. We have also forgotten that love is the most powerful force on the universe. We don't have to manipulate. We don't have to control. We don't have to instill fear to get what we want. We don't have to compete with each other. We can simply love and support and nourish each other in order to create the lives that we want to live. So let's align with that. I want us to try to shift our awareness from this lack mentality, from this fear-based mentality, aligning with love and with this truth that the world is so abundant. We already have what we need. So this reading kind of just reiterates that. It says, for a reflection on a self-organizing universe. The universe is both self-organizing and self-correcting. The invisible hand that makes our heart beat and our lungs breathe is at work on multi-dimensional levels, arranging not only the extraordinary physical processes that keep us alive, but also what we experience: insights, relationships, improbable meetings, creative moments, falling in love, emotions, and consciousness, and miraculous occurrences. The universe, in fact, is one miracle after another, one stroke of genius followed by another stroke of its genius in an endless flow of opportunity for life to fulfill itself. And nature is not limited to the so-called natural world. It's as much a stroke of genius that you are sitting next to whom you're sitting next to on the bus today, as that your liver is purifying your blood. The universe is intentional. It doesn't do anything by accident. The difference between the so-called natural world and you and me is that you and I can say no. The embryo doesn't have a choice whether or not to become a baby. The acorn doesn't have a choice whether or not to become an oak tree. The bud doesn't have a choice whether or not to become a blossom. You and I do have a choice whether to be neurotic or wise, harsh or gentle, blaming or forgiving. And the choice we make then determines not only who we will be in the world, but also the experiences we will have. That is our power. Our power lies in our free will. We always have the ability to make a choice to respond to what is happening. Again, there is some underlying current, some natural order that is creating all of this that we have to have trust in and embrace, that what is happening for the benefit of all, even though it might not seem like it. And I know so many people are being impacted from this, whether it be physically or financially, or having a lack of resources in this moment that they might not have the ability to receive. We have to look at the bigger picture to really capitalize on some of these higher truths and lessons that are meant to be learned. There is a major shift that is happening, and I feel like if we just stay in the fear and stay in the panic and stay in the anxiety and overlook what the earth is truly trying to reflect to us, we are going to miss it and potentially repeat this in the future. So this is our time as light leaders, as individuals, to step up. It is so important that we share these messages, that we remind ourselves and each other that we have everything we need inside of ourselves, around us. We have each other. We need to stay connected to ourselves. We need to stay present for each other. We need to hold space for ourselves. We need to hold space for each other, and to really take this time to reflect and look at what is truly important, what is truly relevant. What is it that we actually need? Where have we gotten to in our species and in our culture? What are some of the things that maybe we've forgotten and have moving away from? You know, maybe it's things like growing our own food. Maybe it's things like putting our mental and physical health at top priority, beyond money, beyond work, beyond all these things, because these are the things that actually matter and that are actually important to our survival when it comes down to it. You know, is going out to the bar gonna really keep you alive? No. Is having a stable mindset so that you can treat yourself with so much love and compassion and those around you to help raise the vibration of everyone on this planet, so that there's less epidemic, there's less disease, there's less suicide, there's less hurt and less suffering. You know, yes, I feel like those are the answers that we are all seeking in this time. So what you can start to do today in this moment is just be present with yourself. Be present with how you're feeling, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. Hold love, hold compassion. The things that are coming up in this moment in time are yours to love, to nurture, to heal. It's your responsibility to do those things for yourself and for each other. Just like this virus, just like all those wildfires were coming up and presenting themselves to us as a collective. Your thoughts, your emotions are yours to look at, to take responsibility for. It takes us all as individuals to wake up, to become self-realized, self-actualized in order to make these changes globally. And again, we can see that presently when we all make the decision to slow down and stay at home, the impact that we have. It takes all of us to step up and to make those choices in order to get these results. So really empower yourself in this moment. Take this opportunity to look at the changes that you can begin to make in your own life presently. Again, this is your responsibility. Although it is something that you have to do for yourself, you don't have to do it alone. There's so many people out there to help you and empower you. I have so many people in my tribe and community. I'll be trying to share some of the resources that I have and create more things for you to use. There's so many people out there that are sharing information about how you can take care of your body and resolve your stress and boost your immunity and take precautious measures during this time out of, like, that are empowering instead of out of fear or out of panic. And if you're already there, if you're already in this vibration, this mindset, then I'm just calling you to step it up and start to share some more love and light. I get afraid every time I record these videos. I get afraid of what's going to come out. Am I going to be able to translate what I really want to say in the most effective and efficient way? And, this is not the time to be afraid of that. It's not the time to be afraid of how people are going to perceive us, how people are going to take us, and all that stuff. We need to get out of our own way, just as I'm doing today, just to share a little bit of my humanity with you guys too. I feel it too. And to just step up and share these messages, because it's the message that's the most important part. It's not about me. It's not about you or who's saying it. It's about getting this information out so that we can collectively make the decision to resolve all these underlying issues that got us to where we are today. So again, everything is happening for a reason. Please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. If you also are able to and capable to, extend help, extend love. If this isn't impacting you and you're like, I don't know why you guys are all freaking out, then great. Good for you. Go help somebody that needs help, that needs love, that needs compassion. We're all in this together. And this is a reflection that we aren't doing well as a species, as an individual, or as individuals, if there are people out there suffering. Because we impact each other. That's the whole point of this. So if you have what you need, if you are secure, if you are stable, if you're grounded and you are able to help, please do that. Help each other out. That's the purpose of all of this. And we don't have to be emotionally codependent just because there are people that are suffering. You're allowed to feel love as well. You're allowed to feel gratitude. You're allowed to feel joy. A part of me is like excited as fuck for this. This is an opportunity for us to truly create this amazing, loving world in which we can all live in together, where we're not fighting each other over shit, where we're not suffering, we're not worrying about, whether we're able to actually maintain this earth and this environment that we live in, but instead we're really nurturing ourselves and caring for each other and giving ourselves all the love and compassion that we need. So much is happening. So much is changing. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to redirect this energy to the highest, most loving place that it can possibly go. So I love you guys. I'm here for you if you need anything. Again, I'm going to be trying the best that I can to continue to share all the downloads of information that I'm getting. I hope this translated well for you. Please share this. We need to get this message out there. This is our time. This is our time to revolutionize the shit out of this place and create the most beautiful world in which we can possibly live in. Some of you guys, I'm sure, have been preparing yourselves for this moment without even realizing it, myself included. I was doing things a month ago that I can now use to share, and I wasn't even aware of what was happening. So we're all receiving upgrades. We're all receiving these downloads. Just like a virus in a computer, we have to, redevelop the hardwire to support that. Or when we have an illness individually in our body releases the antibodies, the white blood cells, and the DNA codes to fight and become resistant to that illness, to just grow stronger in the future. That is what is happening collectively. We are receiving the light codes now, the data and information that we need and require in order to create a better universe for ourselves and for each other. So see if you can elevate your frequency, Best way to do that, get in nature. Just go outside. You don't have to touch anyone. You don't have to be around anyone. Be mindful, okay? Let's slow down, take responsibility over ourselves. And there's so many practices out there. There's so much information out there. Again, that's the blessing of the world that we live in. Let's take advantage of that through meditation, through yoga, through prayer, through connecting, sharing love, making love, creating art, connecting to nature, eating food that is so nourishing to our bodies. We're going to get through this. We're going to elevate the vibration of the universe as a whole. I have been reading stuff about this for like a decade now. Okay, we have seen over time people as individuals self-actualize and reach their highest potential by aligning themselves with source energy, whatever that means to you. That's why I put it in quotes. It can be God, it can be, whatever you want to call it. We have seen people as individuals or as cultures do that, and we are moving from this place of duality to unity consciousness. This is the first time in history, I'm like getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this, where as a collective, we are making this shift together. It's not one person that is going through this process. It is everybody. So we all have to step up. We all have to wake up to this. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Only you need to align. Only you need to awaken. And again, if you can help, help. Not a time to judge, not a time to put people down and compare. Just give love, give kindness, give compassion. Okay? I'm sure I'll be coming on again to talk to you all, to share more meditations with you. I have online courses and things available you can tune into from anywhere all over the globe. Please share this. Please comment, share how you're feeling, share your experience. We need to connect. We need to communicate. We need to support each other. Okay. I just feel so strong and passionate about all this. I'm just gonna cut myself off here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. I just cannot stress the importance of all this. So I love you all so much. I'm here for you. It's all gonna be good.